Yes, people, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Yash Talks Football. We're going to go over the three things that we learned from Man United nil, Arsenal 1. But before we do, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, turning on the post notifications, hitting the like button, and also dropping in a comment as well. Now, look, we beat Man United 1-0 yesterday afternoon. It wasn't great one bit. And that's the first thing I'm going to get into is the overall quality of the Premier League in general. Now, this fixture is the biggest in Premier League history. The rivalry it sort of represents, the way that Fergie and Arsene Wenger were competing for titles year in, year out. But even though, if I'm being honest, I never saw that era. I was born in, 06, so our last title was in 04, and we won the league at Old Trafford in 02, so I'm not sort of familiar with experiencing that rivalry, but the sort of way, look, we weren't great. I'm not digging the result really because ultimately it's a small percent chance it's one step closer to winning the title, and we kind of had the hope Spurs do us a favour, which is probably not going to happen. They're going to get absolutely piped, in my opinion. But I think if that was an advert for the two biggest sort of Premier League clubs, then it was pretty shit, if I'm being completely honest, because it was literally a game of just hoof it long. Hopefully someone heads it goes straight back. The quality of attacking play was not there at all, apart from one little moment with Arsenal when, again, well, from a mistake, really, Casemiro not even bothering to run out. And then when Man United got the ball in dangerous areas, they made nothing happen. I mean, that Garnacho, if he's a scrub, let's be honest. Højlund, scrub. Amad Diallo was the only one looking likely to even do something. And yeah, and even Arsenal-wise, Saka wasn't great. Ødegaard was missing, really. Kai Havertz, every time the ball went up to him, it came straight back. Trossard weren't really great either, really, apart from the goal and sitting down Wan-Bissaka once. But yeah, it's just the overall quality in general isn't great, in my opinion. And the second thing I'm going to get into is that Man United are an absolute mess, aren't they? I mean, just forget just on the pitch, their stadium. I mean, I saw videos that, when the thunderstorm in Manchester happened yesterday, the the away dressing room started leaking. And I even saw some Man United fans online, they didn't get out of the stadium until about 8 o'clock, and the game ended at 6 o'clock. And yeah, look, even the bench they had, I know they got quite a lot of injuries, but still, the amount of youngsters they had on that pitch, and look, they need a massive rebuild. And I think a minority of Man United fans are demanding that to happen, and they should be demanding that, really. I mean, if you look at the squad they have now, it's horrendous, really. Like, what decent players have they got? They got, even though he had a mare, Casemiro, Varane's decent. Sancho on loan, he's in the Champions League final. Diallo looks like a player. Who else? Not many that come to mind, really, but yeah, they need a massive overhaul in the summer. And the final thing we need to address is the importance of this guy, Leandro Trossard. He didn't have a good game, like I said, but this guy constantly throughout the season has been coming up with clutch goals. We think of last night, we think of the game against Bayern Munich, although it really didn't mean anything. The game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, other goals he scored throughout this season that has been clutch. The game against Porto, bringing a tie level. I mean, and people use the City game where he should have squared it, and Aston Villa game where he somehow missed. I get that, but at the same time, this guy he's finally getting the game time he deserves, and he should be starting week in, week out for Arsenal Football Club. But look, that is the end of the video. Make sure you are sub, and sharing the content around. I think Aston Villa and Liverpool play tonight, so that's going to be interesting. And then the one that we can only pray for a miracle, Tottenham, Man City, is tomorrow. So I will be keeping an eye out on those games. But yeah, remember, sub, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you lot in a bit.